My name is Sarah. Growing up, my parents' separation left me feeling uncertain and fragmented. I lived with my mother and had a stepfather I tried to understand and accept. I realized early that family is not just about biology. It's about care, support, and the bonds we choose to nurture. At 14, I moved to live with my father. That transition brought freedom, independence, and opportunities I had never imagined. I also found someone who treated me as her own, showing me that love comes in many forms. Life, however, was never without challenges. When my father became seriously ill, I stepped up to take responsibility, balancing household tasks with school and personal growth. Through these experiences, I learned the value of resilience, the importance of cherishing every moment, and the strength we gain when we face life head-on. I grew into a confident young woman, aware that love, family, and responsibility are what shape us into the people we are meant to become. Life is unpredictable, but every challenge is an opportunity to grow. Every act of love is a lesson, and every moment is precious. Embrace change, embrace responsibility, and embrace the strength within you. Life is constantly changing, often in ways we cannot predict or control, and learning to navigate those changes is one of the most important lessons we can experience. From a young age, I discovered that change is not always easy. When my parents separated, I was 10 years old, and my world suddenly felt uncertain. The familiar routines I had relied upon vanished, replaced by new realities I had never anticipated. My father moved to another city, while I stayed with my mother, and though I still loved him, our connection became limited to weekends and holidays. I felt the absence of stability, the subtle weight of adjusting to different homes, and the challenge of understanding how life could continue when the people I loved were no longer living under the same roof. Change, I learned, is not just about physical relocation or new circumstances. It is about emotional adaptation. It is about learning to process feelings of loss, sadness, and even confusion while still finding ways to thrive. Living with my mother and her new husband introduced me to a different dynamic. I had to navigate boundaries, understand the expectations of people I was still learning to know, and find my place in a home that was not entirely my own. Change forced me to grow faster than I might have otherwise, teaching me patience, empathy, and the ability to adapt to situations that were uncomfortable or unfamiliar. When I moved to live with my father at 14, change presented itself again, this time as both excitement and challenge. I was entering a new city, a new home, and a new life that promised opportunities but required adjustment. Everything felt different, the routines, the freedom, the expectations. At first, it was overwhelming to balance school, household responsibilities, and the emotional weight of leaving my mother behind. Yet, I realized that change also brought growth, independence, and experiences that would have been impossible had I stayed in my previous comfort zone. It taught me that life is not static and that each shift, each transition, is an opportunity to learn more about ourselves, our values, and our resilience. I also learned that change can be empowering when approached with openness and courage. It pushes us to develop new skills, confront fears, and adapt to circumstances beyond our control. The challenges associated with change are not punishments. They are lessons in disguise, moments that demand our focus, creativity, and determination. Over time, I began to see that every major transition in my life, from my parents' separation to moving to a new city, was preparing me for the complexities of adulthood. Change tested my ability to be flexible, to take initiative, and to embrace uncertainty with courage rather than fear. Through these experiences, I understood that change is an inevitable part of life. It is not something to resist or fear but something to embrace, because it is in these moments of transition that we learn the most about who we are, what we are capable of, and how we can grow stronger, wiser, and more adaptable with every step we take into the unknown. Love is one of the most profound forces in our lives, and it is often far more complex and multifaceted than we realize. Growing up, I believed that love meant constant presence, grand gestures, and perfect harmony. But my experiences quickly showed me that true love is not always visible or easy to define. When my parents separated, I learned that love does not disappear simply because circumstances change. My father, though living in another city, remained a steady presence in my life, making the effort to be there on weekends and holidays. His love was not about proximity, but about consistency, intention, and care. I came to understand that love can stretch across distance, adapt to new circumstances, and still provide warmth and security even when it is not always obvious. Living with my mother and her new husband, I encountered a different dimension of love. Mr. Karim treated me with kindness, patience, and understanding even though I was not biologically his child. He respected my space, encouraged my growth, and offered guidance without demanding control. Through his actions, I learned that love can be quiet, subtle, and patient, manifesting in small gestures rather than dramatic displays. It is in these moments, the shared meal, the gentle advice, the simple acknowledgement of who you are, that love reveals its true strength and endurance. When I moved to live with my father, I discovered yet another layer of love. He gave me freedom, independence, and opportunities that allowed me to grow into my own person. Yet he remained present and attentive to my needs. His partner, Aunt Layla, embraced me as her own, showing me that love is not limited by biology. It can be chosen, nurtured, and cultivated through care, attention, and emotional investment. I realized that love is not a single, fixed experience. It is fluid, adaptable, and capable of taking many forms. These experiences taught me that love is both protective and empowering. It offers support without stifling growth and provides a foundation from which we can explore the world with confidence. True love does not seek to possess or control, it seeks to uplift, guide, and nurture. It is present in the moments when someone stands by you, listens to you, or simply acknowledges your existence with genuine care. It teaches patience, empathy, and understanding because real love requires us to consider the needs, feelings, and well-being of others. I also came to understand that love is inseparable from responsibility and resilience. When life becomes difficult, love motivates us to care for others, to step into challenging roles, and to offer support when it is most needed. It is not always convenient or easy, but it is always transformative. Through my experiences, I discovered that love is not measured by grandiose gestures or constant visibility, but by consistency, intention, and the quiet strength it provides. The love I encountered in its many forms taught me the true meaning of connection, care, and the profound impact that genuine affection can have on a person's life. Responsibility is a lesson that life teaches in ways we often do not anticipate, and it is through stepping up to meet these demands that we discover the depths of our own strength. When I moved to live with my father, I was given independence and freedom I had never known before, but along with that freedom came the quiet expectation that I would contribute, help, and take initiative. It was a gentle but powerful lesson. Freedom is a gift, but with it comes responsibility. I began to understand that every action I took, every choice I made, affected not just my life, but the lives of those around me, and that awareness forced me to grow in ways that were both challenging and transformative. The first true test of responsibility came when my father fell seriously ill. Suddenly, the roles I had once assumed as a child or teenager shifted. I had to manage the household, organize meals, balance schoolwork, and support my father emotionally through his struggles. It was daunting. The weight of these duties could have easily been overwhelming. But I soon realized that responsibility is not just about doing what is necessary. It is about stepping forward even when it feels uncomfortable, about being proactive rather than passive, and about embracing challenges rather than running from them. Each task I completed, each small decision I made, became a testament to my growing resilience and maturity. Responsibility is also deeply intertwined with empathy. When we take responsibility, we begin to see the world from the perspective of others. Caring for my father required me not only to perform practical tasks but also to understand his emotions, to anticipate his needs, and to provide comfort and reassurance in moments of fear or uncertainty. It taught me that responsibility is not just a duty, it is a form of love, a way of contributing meaningfully to the lives of others. Through this, I learned that taking responsibility strengthens relationships and fosters trust, because it shows that we are willing to invest time, energy, and care into the well-being of those around us. I also came to understand that responsibility builds confidence. Each challenge I faced reinforced the belief that I was capable, that I could handle difficult situations, and that I could rely on my own judgment and skills. Responsibility forced me to grow, adapt, and develop solutions in real time, teaching me lessons that no classroom could offer. It shaped my character, sharpened my problem-solving abilities, and instilled a sense of accountability that became central to who I am. Through these experiences, I realized that responsibility is not merely an obligation, it is an opportunity. It is an opportunity to grow, to strengthen bonds, to discover inner courage, and to contribute to something larger than ourselves. The challenges I faced, though difficult, became milestones that defined my journey, shaping me into a person who could meet life's demands with determination, empathy, and unwavering resolve. Cherishing every moment is a lesson that life teaches most profoundly when we face change, uncertainty, or loss. Growing up, I often assumed that time was endless, and that there would always be opportunities to laugh, to speak, or to share experiences with the people I loved. That assumption changed when I moved between households, experienced family separations, and eventually faced the serious illness of my father. Suddenly, I realized that life is fragile and unpredictable, and that the moments we often take for granted, the shared meals, the quiet conversations, the simple presence of someone we care about, are far more precious than I had ever understood. I began to notice the small, seemingly insignificant details that make life meaningful, understanding that they accumulate into memories that define us. Learning to cherish every moment also taught me the importance of presence. It is not enough to simply exist alongside someone or to go through the motions of daily life. True appreciation requires awareness, attention, and engagement. When I spent time with my father, whether helping him with small tasks, listening to his stories, or simply sitting together in silence, I realized that these ordinary moments were actually extraordinary. They carried weight, significance, and the quiet beauty of connection. I learned that cherishing the moment is not about waiting for milestones or grand events. It is about fully inhabiting the here and now and recognizing the value of what is before us. This lesson became even more profound as I took on responsibilities in the household during my father's illness. Amid the challenges and pressures, I discovered that the act of caring for someone in need magnifies the importance of each interaction, each conversation, and each gesture of kindness. Every moment mattered because time was limited, and the depth of my engagement directly influenced both my father's well-being and the strength of our bond. In these moments, I realized that time itself is a gift, and that our actions, attention, and love are what give it meaning. I also learned that cherishing moments requires intentionality. Life is easy to let pass by in distraction, routine, or preoccupation with the future. Yet, when we actively notice, appreciate, and engage with the present, we create memories that endure, deepen our relationships, and enrich our own sense of fulfillment. Even small expressions of love, patience, or gratitude can transform an ordinary day into a cherished memory, leaving lasting impressions that shape our character and perspective. Through these experiences, I came to understand that every moment carries potential to teach, to connect, to comfort, and to transform. Life is not measured merely by achievements or years but by the depth with which we experience it, the attention we give to those around us, and the gratitude we cultivate for each passing day. Cherishing every moment is both a mindset and a practice, a choice to live fully, to love intentionally, and to recognize that the present is the most valuable gift we will ever receive. Independence and support are two forces in life that often seem at odds, yet I discovered that they are not only compatible but essential to personal growth. When I moved to live with my father, I experienced independence in ways I had never known before. I had my own room, the freedom to explore my interests, and the space to make my own choices. At first it was exhilarating, a chance to define myself and make decisions without constant supervision. Yet, this independence was accompanied by the realization that freedom is not meaningless. It comes with responsibility, accountability, and the need to navigate challenges thoughtfully. Even as I embraced this newfound independence, I realized that support was just as vital. My father was always there, not as a controlling figure, but as a source of guidance and reassurance. He encouraged me to take risks, pursue my passions, and explore my potential while remaining present to offer advice and comfort when I needed it. His support did not limit my independence, it enhanced it, giving me the confidence to make choices, knowing I had a safety net of care and understanding. I began to understand that true independence is not isolation but the ability to stand on your own while recognizing that support exists when necessary. Support came in other forms as well. My stepmother, Aunt Layla, treated me as her own child, offering patience, guidance, and care without imposing control. She celebrated my achievements, comforted me in moments of failure, and encouraged me to take initiative in managing my life. This taught me that support is not about dependence or restriction. It is about providing a foundation that allows growth, risk-taking, and self-discovery. With the right balance, independence becomes empowering, and support becomes enabling rather than limiting. Through this experience, I learned that independence and support together cultivate resilience and confidence. Independence challenges us to make decisions, learn from mistakes, and develop self-reliance, while support reminds us that we are not alone, and that guidance is available when we need it. The two forces complement each other, creating an environment where growth is possible. Mistakes are learning opportunities, and challenges become manageable rather than overwhelming. I also realized that embracing both independence and support requires trust in ourselves and trust in those who care for us. Independence without trust can lead to recklessness or fear of failure, while support without independence can stifle growth and prevent us from realizing our full potential. Balancing the two taught me how to navigate life thoughtfully, make empowered choices, and appreciate the people who provide guidance, love, and care without limiting our ability to flourish. Through these experiences, I discovered that independence and support are not contradictory. They are complementary forces that, when balanced, enable us to face life's challenges confidently, pursue our dreams boldly, and grow into the people we are capable of becoming. Resilience is one of the most vital qualities we can cultivate, and it is often forged in the moments of struggle, uncertainty, and change. Growing up, I faced challenges that tested my emotional, mental, and physical strength. From my parents' separation to moving between households, to stepping into responsibilities beyond my years, I was constantly learning how to adapt and persevere. Resilience is not simply about enduring difficulties, it is about responding to them with courage, determination, and a willingness to grow. It is the inner strength that allows us to move forward even when life feels overwhelming, and it is a quality that shapes our character, our confidence, and our ability to navigate the world. When I moved to live with my father, I entered a life of greater independence, but that independence came with responsibility. I had to learn to manage my own life, make decisions, and navigate a new environment while balancing school, household duties, and relationships. At first, the weight of these expectations felt heavy, and I often doubted whether I could handle everything. But gradually, I discovered that resilience is built through experience, through facing challenges head on, and through the determination to keep moving forward despite obstacles. Each task I accomplished, every problem I solved, reinforced the belief that I was capable of more than I had imagined. The true test of resilience came when my father became seriously ill. I had to step into a caregiving role, managing the household, supporting him emotionally, and balancing my own needs and responsibilities. Those moments were difficult and exhausting, but they taught me that resilience is not about never feeling fear, sadness, or uncertainty. It is about continuing to act with courage, compassion, and focus in spite of those feelings. I learned that adversity can be a teacher, showing us our inner strength and the depth of our abilities when life demands more from us than we think we can give. Resilience is also emotional. It requires the ability to regulate our responses, maintain hope in difficult times, and sustain a positive outlook even when circumstances are challenging. It allows us to face setbacks without being defeated, to learn from failures, and to view obstacles as opportunities for growth rather than insurmountable barriers. Through my experiences, I learned that resilience is not innate, it is cultivated through persistence, reflection, and the courage to keep moving forward even when the path is unclear. Ultimately, resilience defines who we are and how we approach life. It empowers us to face challenges with determination, to grow stronger from hardships, and to inspire others through our example. It is the foundation upon which confidence, independence, and personal growth are built, enabling us to navigate life's unpredictability with strength, courage, and unwavering resolve. Through resilience, I discovered that no matter how difficult the journey, we have the capacity to overcome, thrive, and emerge stronger than before. As I reflect on my journey, I realize that life is a series of changes, challenges, and lessons that shape who we are. From the uncertainties of family transitions to the responsibilities we take on, from learning to cherish every moment to balancing independence with support, and from discovering the power of love to cultivating resilience. Every experience has taught me that growth often comes from the most unexpected places. Life is not always easy, but it is in these moments of challenge and adaptation that we find our strength, our purpose, and our capacity to thrive. I want you to remember that change is inevitable, but it is also an opportunity for growth. Love is not limited by circumstances, it exists in the choices we make and the care we give. Responsibility is not a burden, it is a gateway to maturity, confidence, and inner strength. Every moment is precious, and the way we embrace it shapes our memories and our lives. Independence and support are not opposites, they work together to help us grow, explore, and flourish. And resilience, the ability to keep moving forward despite difficulties, is what allows us to face life's challenges with courage and determination. So, as you continue on your own journey, carry these lessons with you. Embrace change, cherish love, take responsibility, value every moment, balance freedom with guidance, and cultivate resilience. Life will test you, but it will also reward you with growth, strength, and fulfillment beyond what you imagine. Thank you for taking the time to listen to my story, for sharing this journey with me, and for allowing me to remind you of the incredible potential that lies within each of us. May you face your challenges with courage, embrace your opportunities with confidence, and live your life with love, purpose, and resilience. Thank you, and may your journey be filled with endless growth, unforgettable moments, and unwavering strength.